Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. Ohio State has an addition from the transfer portal, landing a commitment from former UTSA wide receiver Devin McEwen. Through 3 seasons, McEwen has totaled 152 receptions for 1,696 yards and 16 touchdowns. He brings 1 year of eligibility to Ohio State. Ohio State safety Caleb Downs is officially declared for the NFL draft. In 3 seasons in college, Downs was named SEC Freshman of the Year and earned SEC first-team honors at Alabama. He was a 2-time first-team Big Ten and a 2-time unanimous All-American here in Columbus. Downs is projected to be a top pick in the draft this April. Ohio State basketball Jake Diebler announced today that forward Brandon Knoll is out indefinitely with a foot injury that he suffered in the loss to Nebraska. The Buckeyes take on Oregon tomorrow night at 10:30. This one's sponsored by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free plumbing services when you buy a new water heater. Visit gateeco.com and book today.
Bring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side, going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. I'm Brandon Beam, hanging out with our guy Justin Zwick. Jay-Z with us tonight. Jacob Reimer, Rhyme Time Behind the Glass. Jay-Z, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Last time we were talking, we
don't want to talk about that.
We were immediately recapping Ohio State's loss to Miami on New Year's Eve. Hopefully, the last 7 days have been a little bit better than that evening.
They're not. I am so mad at college football right now. I can't take it anymore. Everybody leaving and all the stuff that's happening, all the goings-ons here in college football has just got me in my feelings this week, I think.
Yeah,
maybe it has something to do with the way the season ended, and I'm just like, we're just keep getting kicked. I don't know.
Right? I mean, because last year, let's take it back a full calendar year. Not even a full calendar year. January 20th, I believe, was the day that Ohio State played Notre Dame and won a national championship. You're feeling good. You raised the banner. Feeling great about yourselves, right? And then you come into this year not really knowing what Ohio State was going to bring to the table. You go through, you're undefeated in the regular season. Kind of get beat up physically against Indiana, and then obviously got beat up against Miami in that game on New Year's Eve in the Cotton Bowl against the Hurricanes. And I don't know if it's because the way the season ended, or it's just because it's super front of mind, or college football has changed that much in 1 year. But it kind of does. I mean, it does feel like the world is kind of spinning off of its axis. And last night when Austin and I were doing the show until 8 o'clock, and he's going to join us coming up here around 6:17, Austin Ward, that is. Joshua Perry, who you just heard from 3 to 6 on Common Man and Timmy with Tim. He's going to join us at 6:30. We got the news that Quincy Porter was going into the portal. And you got a little bit more news today. The whole Damon Williams situation, the Washington quarterback, which we'll get into a little bit later in the College Football Pulse. It seems like things are moving at a rapid rate. And I just want to remind everyone that we haven't even gotten to the semifinals. The semifinals are happening tomorrow and Friday. And again, maybe this is the case because you're not playing in the semifinals. You're not playing in the national championship game. So maybe this is what it's like for every other program in college football. But, man, does it seem like everything is happening at a very rapid rate right now.
Yeah, it is. And it's just, what kills me is you just see these young guys and you're like, all right, man, I can't wait until next year to see them out there and they're really doing their thing and blossoming into starters and taking over. And then you get to this week and it's just like, nope. They're all taking off. Mm-hmm. And, it's just kind of like, as a old school guy, college football used to just
push through it.
You used to have that, like, all right, we got this guy coming back next year. He's going to be awesome. He's really grown and gotten better. And now it's just like, all right, well, who's going to be on our team? Because you got 15, 16, 17 guys in the portal. And a lot of those guys were guys that you thought were going to play next year, I think. Maybe not a lot, but there's 4 or 5 guys in there that you really expected were going to be on the
Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham.
Yes, exactly. So, maybe that's the effect of Brian Hartline leaving. They wanted to come here to be coached by him. Now they're not going to South Florida to be coached by him down there. So why wouldn't you want to stay in, a program like Ohio State? But hey, they're going to do their own thing. And we do have guys coming back next year on that side. So it just becomes a money thing. Can we keep everybody? Can we pay everybody? Keep them happy? And it's just, man, it just stinks because they're going to be good players and you just want to see them in the scarlet and gray. And, it's just crazy the way college football has taken off.
And I just think the whole mantra for Ohio State, right, for the last 15 years, since Urban got here and since Ryan has been continuing doing the job, it's always been developed here. And when you're starting to lose freshmen and you're starting to lose sophomores who are going to get more playtime than they have in years past. And listen, I'm not a world is collapsing around you kind of guy. But when you use the developed here mantra and those guys are in the pipeline, like 1-year players, they're not going to play, right? If you play on special teams, I think that's a great homage, and that's the way that you get on the field and be able to prove your salt that you can actually play some. And then you get into your sophomore year and you play, 40, 50 snaps, right? Depending on the level of opponent, you get into the second half, and you and I have done plenty of post games this year where that was the case. And then you get into your third year, and it's like, all right, it's time to go now. It's time to go. It's time to be a starter or a very reliable backup. And again, this is an Ohio State problem. I mean, this is an entire college football problem. And I saw that I think 31% of college football in its entirety for players on rosters are currently in the transfer portal. You're telling me that one third of the players in college football are currently in the transfer portal? That's mayhem.
How many of those guys, I wish they'd put out numbers of how many of those guys stay in the portal, don't end up somewhere. Everybody thinks it's more grass is always greener on the other side. And it's just like, that's not the case. I mean, you have a good situation. You have a program that's pouring into you, developing you, wanting you to be here for multiple years. And to just throw that away for, I get it. Money is money, and money talks. That's what they say, right? And so if someone's going to give you a bunch, or more than what you're already getting, you're going to listen to them.
I'm not going to sit here and be mad at somebody for telling you that they're going to pay you $1.5 million or whatever the number may be. I don't know. That's a made up number. Yeah, $1.5 million to come and play football for. You're going to make
more than what you made there, and you're going to be a starter here.
$1.5 million.
You'd like to hear that.
That's life changing money for a lot of people. That is very good money for 1 year, especially as a 19, 20-year-old. I think you're going to take that, especially if you have dreams of going on to the NFL and doing something and securing that second NFL contract, which is so big. Getting drafted, obviously, is a huge blessing. But, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'm to the point now. It's like, all right, the developed here, the brotherhood, it's something that we talk about here and have a lot of pride in, in this program. But is it going away? Is it to a point where it's like, hey, it doesn't even matter if we go get this 5-star coming out of high school. We're going to give him a bunch of money to get him, and then he could just leave the next year. Like, do we just wait and see? Do we, I don't know if that has to change as far as recruiting goes and how you kind of put your team together. You can't be in the portal every year fixing everything. I understand that.
Well, there are teams that do that, though.
Well, there are teams that do that, and they've been successful here in the last couple of years. Can you continue that on a yearly basis? You got to keep hitting on all these guys that you bring in. I guess it's possible, but I feel like that's not the perfect way to do it. But in this new world, it may be. Because, you just had that big defensive lineman commit to us, right?
Yeah.
5-star, big, right before the Miami game. It was awesome. And it's like, he's not going to come. He won't be here.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised, I guess I should say, if in the end.
He's got still another year before he actually
he's got another
enrolls,
year,
right?
And he's already talked about, I'm going to go on these visits and this and that. Now, granted, if he did come, that's great. But at the end of that year, he could just go out and do the whole thing over again. And it's just really disheartening because you just like you see somebody. All right, we got back in the day, it was like, man, we got a big recruit coming, and this is going to be awesome.
He's going to be here for at least 3 years.
3 years, 3 to 4 years, and you get to learn the guys, and you become more familiar with them. And it's like having to relearn a roster every single year. It's like, man, that's.
Shout out Paul Keels and Jim Lachey.
Well, I know. Good luck.
Because it is crazy. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Justin, but it does seem like Ohio State, when it has come to the NIL era, now they've figured it out, obviously. Like in the last couple of years, they have hit on some high major targets that they were going to get. Julian Sand enters the portal 2 weeks after, I guess 2 weeks after being at Alabama, after Nick Saban called it a retirement. Boom, he goes in. Ohio State plucks him out. Caleb Downs, right? He's from the transfer portal. Travion Henderson. Will Howard was a terrific get out of the transfer portal. So they have navigated it pretty well over the last couple of years that it's been as prevalent in college football. But they've never been the one to say, hey, we're going to spend, make up a number. $16 million in the transfer portal or whatever it is. Now, there are teams that do that, right? I think you look at Kurt Signetti in his first year. Like, he brought, 30, 40% of the roster over from James Madison. He had success in the transfer portal this year. Lane Kiffin, as much as you want to poo-poo him as the villain of college football for leaving the college football playoff team, did a good job of bringing transfer portal guys into Ole Miss, and I'm sure he's going to do the same this year at LSU. Has long been calling it free agency in college football. And again, I don't know if this is the reason why you may be feeling panic mode right now if you're an Ohio State fan, because the fact that you're not winning a national championship and you did get knocked out in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, but it does seem like, all right, well, whatever the strategy is, don't panic. Everything's going to be fine, but it needs to be adapted the way that the rate and the movement of college football does seem to be kind of spinning faster than what it was.
Because all the portal guys you mentioned were guys like, we have a specific need, right? We have all this other stuff here, but we need a safety. We need a running back. We need a quarterback. Now it's like, I mean, we're going into next year with possibly needing 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, 2 or 3 secondary guys. Because you have guys who you thought were going to be in that role next year, leaving and going elsewhere. So I like the idea of, all right, we need this because we've been able to keep this core that we brought in and together. But when you're going out and there's a legit possibility you could have 9, 8 new guys on a defense who weren't even on our team last year.
Oh, I think that's a very real possibility.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just, I'm not trying to throw it out as, a certain, but there's a very good possibility that could be the case. And it's just tough. It's tough, man. I love college football, and I'm an old school guy, but it's just it hurts to just see how it's going nowadays.
You mix that with the coaching searches and everything that's going on.
The coaching, I mean, they'll figure that out.
Coordinator.
You got to have the players. You know what makes a good coach? Good players. Yeah. So if you hit on the portal and you bring good guys in, I think whoever the coach is going to be fine. But I remember talking to Mark Pantoni this summer about what he does, and he's like, he watches like 15 hours of film a day. Oh, because he's in the portal and he's having to do portal, high school, everything, and he's talking about
roster retention.
When we do this, we're offering money for these guys. Like, you can't miss. You got to make sure you do everything, and so that's why he just drags himself through the film of everybody and everything, just to try and make the right informed decision. And just like this year, we brought 2 tackles in. One of them played, right?
Yeah.
And the other guy was making a lot of money, and not actually on the field. And that's you can't have those types of things.
Busiest building in America, the Woody right now.
No doubt about it.
They are working and grinding as the transfer portal is in full force. Austin Ward, he's going to join the program. We'll talk about a very busy day with Ohio State with him coming up here next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X, and of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
You get up early on snow days because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to thrive in the winter. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $6,000. Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Find your local Kubota dealer at BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly cloudy skies are expected here for tonight, as we'll see temperatures dropping down into the mid-30s here for the overnight hours. Could also see some patchy fog developing here overnight into tomorrow morning. And then on your Thursday, we are tracking mostly cloudy skies, but temperatures will be mild up into the mid-50s here for your Thursday afternoon. However, we are tracking some rain showers arriving here for Thursday night into Friday, but we are still looking at high temperatures up into the 60s with record highs expected here on Friday, with highs in the lower 60s before a big cool down here for the weekend. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hey, now with our guy Justin Zwick tonight. Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check it with our guy. He is A-Ward Sports. Austin, quiet day on the Ohio State beat. I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He's on vacation again, probably.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's get caught up to speed.
Okay.
There's more portal hysteria madness. You were hinting at it right as we got off the air last night. I told you it was coming. Quincy Porter. At least Ohio State was able to bounce back and replace him with Devin McEwen, which we could talk a lot about what I see in this UT San Antonio wide receiver. He's got speed. He's got a game-breaking ability. He
pretty decent size.
You know what? Here's what I thought about it, Beam. This is the highlight reel is like, well, he kind of looks like he's undersized, but he reminds me of somebody. And I was trying to think, like, is there some KJ Hill to his game? And KJ was, and look, what a program lifts somebody at. I know you take it with a grain of salt. KJ was listed by Ohio State at 6'0", 195 pounds. Devin McEwen, 6'0", 195 pounds. So I'm not saying that he's KJ Hill, but he might be a faster version of KJ Hill. If he can block like KJ Hill, even better. But we'll get to that in due time. I think it's a good pickup. It was kind of done stealthily, but Cortez Hankton, he's thrown into the fire here in his first week on the job with, losing Mylan Graham going in the portal, Cortez Hankton trying to bring him back out of the portal, Quincy Porter going in. really nothing I think the Cortez Hankton could do about those financial conversations. Cornell Tate's going to the NFL draft. Bryson Rogers is already gone. Demarion Witten from the reserve piece of that, a wide receiver. Like, there's a lot going on at one position group, but there are certainly, fires really just everywhere that Ohio State is trying to put out, including at running back with, negotiations and conversation going on there with Bo Jackson. So I would love, if I'm being honest with both of you, which I always am, for a transfer portal season to be over.
We all would, Austin. Brandon Ennis is coming back next year, right?
That is the plan, but the portal is still open, so I won't guarantee anything. I would be very surprised as we sit here if Brandon Ennis, with all the opportunities that he's had to leave in the past, and as a returning captain, that he would not want to bounce back and contribute once more for Ohio State. There's a way that both he and Devin McEwen can be used. That doesn't mean that it's a one or the other situation with that slot skill, but I don't know if
are we putting Chris Henry in as the other starter right now?
Yes.
I think with the level that he's being paid, Jay-Z, you almost have to. And I don't like, I've always been of the mindset, and I don't think, I'm not trying to retcon my own beliefs. Like, I don't think that Chris Henry Jr. is the same as Jeremiah Smith. I don't think that you don't look at the film, you don't look at the conversation, you don't look at the coaching evaluations and think that he's going to come in and be undeniable that he has to be on the field the way that Jeremiah forced his way into the lineup last season, but or 2 seasons ago at this point. But at the level that Ohio State is paying him, like, the paradigm has shifted here. The way that you have to determine and get a return on your investment is different than it was in the past. So, when you're looking at this bucket of money that is designated to wide receiver, and then the playing time, like, I think the way that you respond accordingly is that Chris Henry Jr. has to be out there, or else what is all the money for? Because until collective bargaining exists, and I'm going off on a much wider tangent here, but every dollar that you spend is for, like, right now, is for 2026. The future doesn't matter because you have to rebuild your roster again for 2027. So if you're paying up front a huge amount of money for a true freshman, then he better be able to contribute, or else why are you spending it there and not in the portal or retaining your current roster? Like, that's the conversation that has to be had. That's a shift in philosophy that I think is occurring in real time for Ohio State right now.
He is Austin Ward with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. I want to go back to something that you said kind of in your opening answer, Austin.
Monologue?
Yeah, I'd call it a monologue if you would like to. Did you break news that that Bo Jackson may not be returning for Ohio State? I didn't want to go too much into that, but you can't drop that, and we just move right past it.
There are. I mean, everyone is at the negotiating table, but Bo Jackson is as well. I think Ohio State has the resources to account for it. They don't want to lose Bo Jackson. They don't want to lose a starting running back. But it goes into, what I was telling, Jay-Z and you guys early on, like, this portal is open. This is the negotiation window. There's not a second crack at it after spring football. All of this is happening. Like, I would bet that at the end of these 15 days, Mark Pantoni will have slept for like 5 minutes because every player on the roster is looking at what they think that they should earn, and then having agents or uncles or high school coaches or whoever else tell them, well, I got this person contact me, back channel stuff. What if you went in the portal? What could you get here? They're floating this amount of dollars around. Like, I am not of the mindset that any decision has been made for Bo Jackson to leave. I'm just aware of what the reality is and what's going on in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center right now with the entirety of the roster. So I can't guarantee anything, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. I just that is what we're in the middle of right now.
Well, I'm a little scared, Austin. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the sky is falling here.
I don't think, but I also don't think that the sky is falling, Jay-Z, because like this. Here's the thing, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you go through these negotiations, which is what happened with Quincy Porter yesterday, which feels like it was 3 weeks ago, you still have whatever money was allocated for that position with Quincy Porter or Bo Jackson that you offer him that he does or doesn't take. And you have really good players around the country and also on this roster that you can still pay that to. So I know that everyone wants Ohio State to pay whatever it takes for all the best players, not just on their team, but on every team, and to have a roster that's the envy of college football. And they are obviously trying their absolute best to do that on a year-in, year-out basis. But if it gets deep into a seven-figure range that Ohio State's not comfortable with, well, they proved yesterday that they are willing to walk away from that and then spend that money elsewhere. Do you want to do that at running back? Of course you don't. Not after a true freshman ran for 1,000 yards. But could you get 2 or 3 backs with something to prove at a combined cost that you would pay to Bo Jackson? I think you could. Now, I don't know that, and the clock is ticking for who could get in or get out of the portal. But, that's the part where I would say that the sky is not falling because it isn't a finite amount of resources that exist to play running back specifically. But, again, that's another fifth tangent that I'm going off of the 2 questions that you guys have asked me.
Before we get you out of here, Austin.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. What's the update on the offensive coordinator / retention of Matt Patricia as well? Because I know that as much as Ohio State's dealing with roster retention, they're also dealing with some coaching things as well.
Yeah, I don't have any names that I would even suggest as a type of candidate for offensive coordinator because I've learned from my own mistakes in Adam King. So nothing has changed. We can talk about it again on Thursday night on the Buckeye Show. I'd be happy to. The Matt Patricia thing, I think, just as quickly as I can, there aren't, as far as I know at this point, there are teams and organizations that have expressed interest in him as a defensive coordinator, but I don't know of concrete financial contract offers in front of him. And at that point, I don't think that he can make a decision. Ohio State is putting that in front of him. They've done everything they can to make him feel welcome and financially rewarded. And I don't think Ohio State's done anything wrong, and I don't think Matt Patricia is doing anything wrong either by, taking his time and waiting until he sees what those opportunities might be. Because, the big fear for Ohio State, if I'm being honest with you, is that one of these teams might think that Detroit was an aberration and give him another shot this offseason as a head coach. I think if it's only defensive coordinator positions and the Raiders have learned some measure of fiscal responsibility, that Matt Patricia would be more than happy to return to Ohio State and be the highest paid coordinator in maybe the history of college football. If we're going to end on an optimistic note, I think there's still a good chance of that.
Are there any more surprises we should expect tonight, Austin? Just say no. Just say no, man.
There's a possibility, I would say, of good news.
Okay, let's go.
All right. We'll leave you with that. Don't say anything else.
Don't say anything else. Good news coming tonight.
Don't say anything else. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 6, all right?
All right, bye.
There he goes. Austin Ward with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Joshua Perry, he's going to talk the state of college football with us coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Hey, everybody. This is Jeremy Birmingham Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. I wanted to give you guys a little update on my Awaken 180 weight loss journey. I started this plan a little bit before the new year started, and not because I'm extra disciplined or heroic or anything like that. I just got tired of waiting for the perfect time to make a change with my own life. And now here we are, second week of January, and I'm already down more than 20 pounds, 20. While most people are still figuring out if they're actually going to start their resolution, I've got 3 weeks of progress quite literally under my belt. But here's the thing. It's not too late for you either. You could start today and still be down 20 pounds by the end of January with results like mine. That is what happens when you have a real plan. Awaken 180 gives you structure, coaching, and actual support, not just motivation that fades by week 2. So if weight loss is your goal and you haven't started yet or have already given up, there's no judgment here. Just don't wait another week, because a few weeks from now, you could be saying what I'm saying. This is already working. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5 each. Order your favorite $5 Pizza Pals from Donatos.com today. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donatos. Gotta love more.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck! You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check with our good friend, who was just on from 3 to 6. So if you missed him, it's a good chance to talk to him right now. He is Joshua Perry. JP, have you made your way home yet? And what's it like in the chaos of 2 children at home?
I am about 2 minutes away from the house. I will finish this up in the car to avoid the chaos.
Take that nice slow drive home.
I was going to take the long way. My wife got my location. She would have been like, where are you going?
I have a radio interview at 6:30, honey. I just needed to
drive around the neighborhood for a while.
An extra 10 minutes. It's fine. Everything is all good.
The last thing that she would want to hear is after doing 3 hours of radio, I'm going to do more radio for free. So I'm just going to keep this to myself.
Yeah, it's fine. She's not listening anyways. It's all good. Joshua, we just had Austin Ward on. Kind of give us the state of college football right now and your thoughts. Justin and I were talking kind of in the opening segment, right? Like, since Ohio State hasn't made its way all the way through to the national championship game, and there is only one transfer portal window now and not that second window in the spring to allow guys to compete in spring ball and then get in after, it does seem like everything has been, at least from an Ohio State perspective and really a whole sport perspective in college football, that everything is in a very much condensed form and kind of a crash course right now.
Yeah, I mean, it feels condensed. The people have pointed out the portal numbers, the amount of guys that are in there. That's because they only have the one opportunity to get in. The other thing that I would say, and I don't know how many people are really talking about this, but since there's only really the one portal opportunity and the portal's the only way to accurately gauge what your market is for NIL, I think there are a lot of guys that are like, well, screw it, I'm just going to dip my toe in this thing and see what I can get money-wise. So I think we've seen some of the rumored numbers that are coming out, especially for the quarterbacks, $4, $5, $6 million for some of these guys. It's a little bit rich, and I think if you're portaling, you're paying a premium. If you got guys that you like and you can retain, you might be able to get them to come back on a little bit of a hometown discount. But even some of those guys are trying to figure out, what is the actual range? Like, what is too much of a discount? And the only way to know that is to get into the portal. So it's crazy. The only benefit to not playing right now is to be able to focus on that, the roster building aspect, and figuring out what your alignment is for next season. But just watching the way everything's going down, watching what happened with Washington and Damon Williams and that crazy situation, like, it is the literal Wild West. I know people have said that, but I think this is the best example of how crazy it actually is.
Take us back to a young Joshua who grew up in Columbus and came to Ohio State. Let's just say you made $500,000 your sophomore year. Would you have jumped into the portal? Would you have tested it just to see? Or would you say, nah, I committed to this program. I wanted to play here. I'm going to take what they give me, what they can get me.
I think I would have been more of the I'm going to be here because I wanted to be here type. And I think it's easy for me to say that sitting here right now without somebody dangling a check in front of my face.
Sure.
But, the reality of the situation, we all got recruited. I had options to go to other places. There were different pros to going somewhere else. There were some cons to maybe not going to Ohio State, vice versa. But the idea was being in a locker room where I felt like I could be developed, being around people who were purpose-driven to win a championship. which we ended up doing. And I think now the money is certainly one of the factors that you have to consider, but there are the NFL aspirations, and they'll find you anywhere, but who can develop you so you can make money and stay in that league, because it's not a developmental league. And then the other thing I would say, which guys don't think about at all, of course, having a little bit of money in your pocket to start your life maybe changes us a little bit, but what the hell are you going to do when you're done? Where is your home going to be? And I've talked about this with guys who transfer, but you see dudes leave places like Ohio State, places like Notre Dame, places like Michigan, right? Like just these storied programs. They have a lot of fan support. They have people who live in all of the major metros in America, and you transfer and go somewhere else and hope that it works out. But then when you're done, when you need to get a job, who are you going to call? When it's time to pick where your family lives and where your kids go to school, where are you going to live? Because you're a bit of an orphan at that point. And that's where I get a little bit frustrated for these guys, because they can't see the big picture that way. But the idea that I came to a place like this and finished out, and now I get to live back in the city where I played ball is huge. And guys are missing that right now.
He is Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. JP, I think it's a great point that you just made. And, I mean, it may be a situation as we kind of shift gears to the DeMond Williams situation, for lack of a better term, that the Washington Huskies found themselves in. So if I'm getting this correct, and I don't know, we don't have like the full numbers, but what's being reported is $5 million offer on the table from Washington, signed it, said that I'm not going to get into the transfer portal. A couple of days after that, DeMond Williams last night got into the transfer portal. I mean, what's the deal there? What's the legal recourse? Because I know that Washington is kind of going full arms race in any sort of legality that they can after DeMond Williams for doing this. In reality, I don't know what the outcome is going to be for him, for the school, for his next school. I have no clue. I'm not a contract lawyer, but it seems like it's a gigantic mess right now.
Well, I talked to a lawyer today who works specifically in the NIL space, because I was trying to understand what's going on here. So Washington has to go after him, because somebody at some point has to try to make an example of what's going on. You can't let a kid sign a deal for $4 or $5 million, or whatever the number was, and then 2 days later he thinks that he can just go somewhere else because somebody tampered and he got a better offer than the one that he signed. Like that, if you're in an institution, you can't let that happen. Now, the real question is, what inside of these contracts can be enforced? What is actually enforceable? And the contract that Washington uses is the same one that schools in the Big Ten are using. And what the contract says is that these guys, once they sign their deal, they cannot transfer, and the school will not facilitate the transfer for them. And that if they leave, the only school that has the ability to market their name, image, and likeness is the school that they just signed with that they're trying to leave. So is a court going to say that contract can dictate whether a player can transfer? Because what we saw with Wisconsin was a guy who didn't even get in the portal. He just unenrolled from Wisconsin and enrolled at Miami. So what does the court say about that? And then what does the court say about this idea of the portability of your own name, image, and likeness rights? The idea that a school is going to tell you that they retain your rights, and if you go to a different school, that school can't market you. Because part of the reason we're in this whole place to begin with is because that's what schools were saying before. Is like, no, we own this, and like we basically own you. And by the way, when you leave here, we're still going to use your name, image, and likeness to market you and to market our programs, etc. And you're not going to see a penny of it. So that's where I think this becomes really intriguing, because I don't think there's a way that they stop him from transferring. And I would be curious to meet the judge who would say that he can't have his new school market his name, image, and likeness rights. And then the final thing is this idea of liquidated damages. And I had to get clarity on this. Liquidated damages are not supposed to be a punishment. So they have to be seen as reasonable. Some of these contracts in them say that the liquidated damages if a player leaves in breach of contract is 100% of what the school owed them. So that would be this $4 or $5 million figure. Is that reasonable? Because I don't think that's reasonable at all. And then you're trying to figure out where the line is. Have they paid him any money at all in this new deal? How much of that do they think should go back? Should it be the whole thing? And then if they decide that he has to pay damages, Does a new school just pick it up and say, screw it, we don't care, we'll pay it for you, and then none of this actually matters in the end? It's one of the most intriguing, fascinating, complex things that we've seen in a high-profile NIL case.
It has been interesting, no doubt about it. And with all this going on, we kind of forget we still have some football games to go. With tomorrow night being, the first one. The semifinals happening this weekend, the next couple of days. What are you looking for? Who do you think is going to come out? What are the two teams that we're going to see in the national championship game?
I think Miami's going to win. They're going to beat Ole Miss. Now, the one thing I think can be in Ole Miss's favor is if Trinidad Chambliss plays out of his mind like we saw against Georgia, and they can leverage tempo, right, that takes the edge off of those rushers that Ohio State saw that ruined their day. If you go fast and you get the ball on the perimeter, it becomes a lot more difficult for those guys to impact the football game. But I think Miami can control it. I think they can play their own pace. Their offense is probably going to have to come alive a little bit more than what we've seen so far. But I think they're the better team. In the other one, the question is what's different between Oregon and Indiana at this point? And I think if Oregon cannot be explosive on offense, which they weren't the first time that we saw them, and frankly, they had some plays down the field, but there were some long drives and there were some go-for-it situations on fourth down, 8 of them, against Texas Tech. If they can't hit explosives, Indiana's winning that football game. And I think Indiana's going to be the team that they've been all year long, and they're going to get the win against Oregon.
Joshua, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. Do apologize to your lovely wife, Maddie.
Get in there and change a diaper.
Yeah, for us taking up some more of your time, all right?
I'm not saying a word, guys.
A lot of traffic on the way home.
See you, JP.
Yeah, right. Later.
There he goes. Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. As Joshua was alluding to, the Damon Williams Washington situation, it's a very, very wild ride. We'll do that in the Pulse, amongst other things, coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
You got this. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service and save up to $30 on auto repair with their AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through January 31st. See store for details.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home with the heat running constantly, it's probably your old, inefficient windows that are the problem. The good news is that Window Nation can help you get through this season because in the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows nationally, and they're trusted by thousands of Columbus homeowners to keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round, while also saving them money on monthly utility bills. And right now, they're more affordable during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale. It's a great time to replace all the windows in your home. Plus, you could get your windows with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You'll be surprised by the dramatic difference new windows will make. Your home will be better protected against the weather, feel warm and dry, and you'll love the lower utility bills. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 sale going on now. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com right now. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Modern Office Methods, your authorized RICO dealer, can help your business optimize your print production with a competitive advantage. Our digital printing options will expand the type of paper and substrates from what your business can print on today. Add variable data capability, which allows for personalization of catalogs and mailers, and the ability for short-run label printing, which allows your business to print high volumes of custom labels quickly and on demand. Want to learn more? Start with a print assessment at momnet.com. Why risk it? You can count on Mom.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, the Fan. It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Coming up here at 7 o'clock, the Inside Edge. Talking about the Jackets West Coast road trip. Coming up. Not the only team on the West Coast.
How about the big fight? Was that last night?
Yeah,
the
Matthew Olivier
guy gave it to him.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves.
Beating him down.
That's right.
That's right.
It's
Lost
like
the game.
A heavyweight battle, I read.
Lost the game, but you know what? Matthew Olivier, number one fighter in the NHL.
Yeah. They
That's
won.
not by any other metrics other than mine.
I was at the game last Saturday. They won. They won for us.
You need to.
It was nice. I need to go to more
games.
I know.
We need to get you out to Nationwide Arena to more games. So that's coming up here at 7 o'clock. By the way, like I said, the Jackets not the only team on the West Coast here this week. Buckeyes men's basketball team going to be on the West Coast starting tomorrow. They're already out there. 10:30 game against the Oregon Ducks tomorrow evening. We're going to be on the air 9:30 pregame show, the tip-off show. For us, we'll have you post-game till like 1:30 in the morning. So all kinds of good stuff out there. And then they finish up against Washington on Sunday evening. I think it's a 6 o'clock game, Reimer? 6 o'clock game, I think it is.
Yeah, that's correct.
On Sunday. And then some news coming out. Brandon Knoll out indefinitely. He did make the trip, but he is out indefinitely, which stings. Already this Ohio State basketball team, no production off of the bench, at least offensively. That is a pretty big hit. Everything has been scarce on the bench. You elevated Amari Bynum up to a starter. Brandon Knoll is really the only one who has given you any points off of the bench since that move happened, and now you're without him. So we'll see how they can navigate the waters on the West Coast.
They fought hard against Nebraska the other day. I mean, they had a shot at the end. Now, I read that the guy who shot it was like 11% three-point shooter.
He did make one earlier in the game, to be fair to him.
When I read that, I just thought to myself, like,
Yeah, Jacob and I talked about that a little bit
Yeah, I'm
yesterday,
sure.
ad nauseum. So we'll see what happens for them. But yeah, they got to get it going. Oregon is not very good. They lost to Rutgers, who Ohio State came from behind in a victory against Rutgers, and then you'll see what happens on Sunday against Washington. But you want to get this started right on the road against Oregon coming up late evening tomorrow.
And Washington plays at Purdue tonight.
Ooh.
So if you want to get a look at them before Sunday.
All right.
Maybe they'll be a little tired on Sunday.
Yeah.
Coming back from the East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
Don't you know it's a transcontinental league? That's what it is. I mean, spanning coast to
And our
coast.
basketball team is living out there for the next week.
How about Mick Cronin having to play at Iowa, at Wisconsin, going home to play Maryland, and then coming back across the country to Happy Valley and then Columbus?
That would be fine. How about, speaking of Happy Valley, Penn State gave Michigan all that they could possibly handle last night.
My gosh.
All right.
And Okay,
I
sorry.
was going to say, this is the college football pulse.
Yep, you're right.
Reimer, what do you have for us tonight on the DeMond Williams saga?
Yeah, so it's just the reporting that's come out about it. He's under contract at Washington. They were expecting him to be their quarterback next year. It just sounds like a very weird situation. Like, so you sign the dotted line that you're not going to transfer. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, right? I mean, it all comes down to that. I mean, contracts and lawyers at the end of the day. And I was asking this to you, Justin, and, during the break, and I thought Joshua Perry, if you missed him, go back and listen to the podcast. You can rewatch the YouTube show. Thanks for everybody for popping in the YouTube chat tonight. A lot of discourse going on around Buckeyes and transferring, but I will take it to Washington for just a second. So he was talking about, all right, well, if Washington paid him $4 or $5 million, whatever the rumored contract is to be for DeMond Williams, and he said, all right, I won't transfer. You're good. You signed the contract. I mean, the ink is dry on the contract. And then you say, all right, I'm out of here. Some sort of payment back to Washington is going to need to be had. I don't know exactly what that looks like, if it's over 12 months of services or if it's during the season, if it's a $5 million check that automatically hits his checking account. I don't know how that works.
If they haven't given him anything, is it still that number or whatever they were going to give? And it's just, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of things that lawyers are going to need to figure out.
But my question to you is all right, well, I mean, if the school, let's take LSU for example. If LSU is the one that is courting,
just out of the blue, we're just picking them.
That's not no rhyme or reason there. It's just random school. If LSU is courting DeMond Williams and tampering in this case, yes. That said, hey, we'll give you $7 million to break your contract with Washington, and if you come here. And he says, okay, cool. For $2 million, I'm going to go down and play in Baton Rouge for Lane Kiffin and the LSU Tigers. Sounds great. Sounds awesome. I still got purple on my jersey. Makes me feel like home, like I'm still in Washington. So if you owe that $5 million back to Washington, but that money is already gone, my question to you is all right, well, that money has to be paid back in some way, right? I mean, because technically it is a breach of contract. Does that money come out of then LSU's NIL coffers? Or can they look to their endowment and say, hey, we can move the numbers somewhere in the financial situation for this entire university and just pay Washington back their $5 million. So now instead of a $7 million deal, it then becomes a $12 million deal because you're having to pay them money back. I don't know how any of that works. Again, I'm not smart enough. I'm not a finance guy. I'm not a lawyer. But those are my questions. Like, does that come out of the NIL coffers, or can the school just directly pay Washington? Then DeMond Williams doesn't have to pay any of that back. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a dial up somebody, say, hey, we need $5 million to get this guy down here, and a booster just says, here's your $5 million.
Yeah.
To go ahead and pay them off and get this quarterback that you want. You better go win a national championship. The crazy thing is, Washington signs him, basically making him one of the most highly paid quarterbacks in college football.
Yeah.
How do you not have any sort of, hey, you guys were going to do solid by me, I'm going to do solid by you.
Right.
You have no loyalty at all. They just offered to make you one of the highest quarterbacks. Now, it hasn't been going on that long, so don't, go too crazy, I guess. But that rubs me the wrong way.
Well, sure. And also,
they were going to take care of you, and you signed, and you were happy with everything, and then, well, sorry, guys.
And you made this great point during the break. If you're a teammate of DeMond Williams, man, we paying you $5 million a year. It's not like it's chump change. That's better than 98% of the country.
And that goes back to what Joshua was talking about where do you have roots? What school, when there's a big game, what school are you going back to? Because, those guys love to come back to Ohio State from the NFL when they have a bye week.
Of course.
How are your teammates going to look at you when you come back? Do they even want you around? Because you know what? You just sold them down the river for an extra couple $1 million.
Yeah.
I imagine it would create some kind of rift between, friends, teammates, that sort of thing.
On the other hand, I'm just asking myself, I'm like, DeMond Williams, good. We talked about him a lot leading into that Washington game. He is a good quarterback. You're telling me $7 million for 1 year?
Is he $7 million good?
I don't know. It's the most expensive quarterback in college football history. DeMond Williams, most expensive quarterback in college football history?
How many points did they put up against Ohio State?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else, not many.
If you're wanting to get that certain amount of money, if you want to play against the highest level of competition, you've got to put up a better showing.
Yeah. Listen, good quarterback, fantastic quarterback. $7 million worth? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think there's anybody in college football that's worth $7 million.
I don't either. Reimer, what else you got for us tonight?
So there was a report that one Mark Cuban has made a donation to Indiana football
to make things worse for the day
for the 2026 transfer portal cycle. And a quote that he sent to Front Office Sports, he says, "Let's just say they are happier this year than last year." And I know this might not be football related. It could be football related, I guess. But where's LeBron at?
LeBron didn't give money for the school that has his name on it.
I don't think he did, right?
No, he's not going to give money to us.
I mean, come on now.
No, that doesn't make you feel good.
No, I mean, going into this and the way Indiana has used the portal for Cubes, they just be like, yeah, they're pretty happy with this year. They're going to get whoever they want to get, I'd imagine. Especially after they go and win these next two games.
They've already done a really good job in the.
Got the receiver from Michigan State. You got the quarterback coming in already.
Yep.
I mean, and they're doing that while they're getting ready for a game. So they're making splashes while they're getting ready to play here.
They're preparing to play Oregon on Friday night, Jay-Z. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, I don't think that inherently makes you feel good as an Ohio State fan. Yeah, Phil Knight out.
Especially seeing them week 4 next year.
Yeah. By the way, don't look at Ohio State's schedule for next year. I know it's not technically out yet. You don't know which weeks like Ohio State is playing these guys, but man, it's a gauntlet. And it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a whole heck of a lot to talk about this offseason. It just stinks when you lose the first round because you're like, oh, man, roster retention, players in the portal.
Yeah, we want to.
That's why I'm saying LeBron. Where you at? You're already giving these guys cleats.
Call him. Call him.
I might have
hit
to.
him up on Instagram. Get his DMs.
Yeah, slide in his DMs.
We need some NIL donors.
You'll be good. Jay-Z had a fantastic time with you tonight. Hopefully, when we talk again next Wednesday, everything will kind of steady itself
that good
out
news that Austin talked about. Maybe we get a couple of those.
Yeah, Austin. Good news. Hopefully coming tonight. If not, A-Word Sports. That's where you can find him on Twitter. Everybody have an awesome night. The Inside Edge is up next on The Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday morning.